books over the earphones?
Right now, I think there is. Vicki, given to what I've seen so far, he's going to fight me every step of the way on this. And Braille is something that eventually he's going to have to learn. I mean, I can already hear him saying, why should I learn Braille when I have these books on tape?
Yes, but he desperately needs to be able to get his mind off his blindness every now and then.
Personally, I'd rather he didn't escape. It's only going to prolong the process and the fight.
I truly don't want to quarrel with you, but I think that you are seeing only the blind patient and not the whole man. I don't think you're taking into consideration his suffering, everything he's lost, and everything that he has to accept.
Your husband is going to suffer a great deal more, and so will you, if you give in to pity. Don't you see that only encourages him to give in to self-pity?
I have never said one word about pity.
You would be amazed how thin the line is, and how easily you can topple over. Well, I'm going to go get some dinner. I'll see you later. Vicki, the telephone and the other gifts, they'll be just fine later, after he's had a chance to learn the basics. But until then, any skill that he doesn't learn is only going to be hurting him in the long run.
Okay, I've gotten the point. But if you think that I'm not going to do any pampering at all, then we're really going to have a problem.
Pampering is fine, when it's appropriate. So it's a good kick in the pants when it's appropriate. Good night. I have to apologize, Mrs. Buchanan. I got 2 steps from that door. I'm sorry.
For
that knee-jerk reaction I had? That you're going to be some hindrance to your husband's rehab?
That must be your experience, then.
I'm afraid it is. Especially with a man like your husband.
What do you see in your short time with him?
He's very take charge. I think he's used to being in control. Having other people listen to him and not taking direction. Throwing tantrums when he's crossed. And that is some temper.
Yes, it is indeed.
Vicki, it seems to me that he's torn between the struggle and the despair that he's feeling. I think he could go either way right now, and that's why I'm touchy.
Thank you for coming back. I feel better. I'd like you to know that I will be more than happy to give him those kicks when they're needed. And when they're not, I'm going to be awfully loving and devoted.
Of course you are. We'll probably get along just fine. Good night.
Good night.
WABC-TV, New York.
Well, Kevin, haven't your mom and dad always been pretty straight with you? Well, then why don't you believe us this time? Well, Kevin, sometimes doctors are overprotective, you know, so if Uncle Larry wants me to stay another day or two longer in the hospital, what can I do? But, you know, nothing's changed. I'm getting better all the time. Well, no, my blindness hasn't changed either, and it probably won't. And it's hard, Kevin. I mean, there's no question about it. But you know what? Pretty soon, your old man is going to seem just the same again. Just moving a little slower is all. Well, I love you too, you little buckaroo. Yeah, now you get back to bed and you go to sleep this time. And you sleep tender. Love you, Kev. Nurse?
No, just your friendly therapist.
Oh, you still hanging around, Miss Gordon?
Well, we were interrupted earlier. And now you've had a little rest and a nice chat. It's time to get back to work.
Oh, wait a minute. I might spend my nights and days in the dark, but I still have a perception of night and day. I think it's about time old Clint gets some sleep.
Well, is that what you're going to do if I leave you alone, or are you going to sit there and brood about your blindness and what it's done to you and your family? And then slip into despair and finally just order a sleeping pill to knock yourself out?
So if I want to brood, is there a law against it?
Nope. But I figure if I teach you some new ways to get around, you're going to wear yourself out and fall asleep more easily. Feel better about yourself in the process,
Got
right?
a nice pat little answer for everything, don't you?
Well, I try.
Heard them all.
Not quite. But I'm sure I will by the time we're through. So?
So, have you cleared this with Larry? You know, he's not letting me out of the hospital tomorrow. He probably found something and he's not telling me about it.
He didn't say anything to me about it, Clint.
They took me down for a CAT scan.
CAT scans are just going to be a normal part of your life from now on. They'll keep checking the bullet fragment.
I suppose so. By the way, my wife told me that she had to take back the gifts that she brought me. Were those your instructions?
Well, I suggested that perhaps she was being a little overly helpful. You know, conveniences like that could actually impede your learning the basics.
Well, with everything I have to learn, it seems cutting a few corners couldn't hurt.
I'm speaking from my experience and from my training, Mr. Buchanan.
Mr. Buchanan? You notice you call me Clint whenever we seem to be agreeing, and then you go right back to Mr. Buchanan at the slightest disagreement?
No, I hadn't. But hopefully we'll just be getting along all the time now, and you'll just be Clint.
I'll never be just Clint again. Those days are gone. I'm sorry about that. Every once in a while, the old bitterness just kind of pops out.
That's perfectly all right. But we are wasting time that could be more productive. So, are you or are you not ready to tackle some of those meaningless daily chores that are facing you?
What do you have in mind?
Learning how to get around with a cane.
I said no cane! Damn it, didn't you hear me say no cane? Ever. I don't have a lot of plans to stroll down the street doing any window shopping. Well, speak up. Miss Gordon, I can't see your face, so say something.
It seems to me we're back to your choice, Mr. Buchanan. To be completely dependent on the kindness of others, or to be able to do it for yourself.
I'll learn most of what you want to teach me. But I'm not going to use a cane like...
Like what?
Never mind.
It seems to me we better get into your feelings about this. Because I think you were about to say you won't use a cane like those poor blind people on the street. A cane just announcing to the world their blindness, and that sort of uncomfortable feeling you get when you pass them on the street. And the total incomprehension of how they do it, and why they do it. I mean, why don't they just stay home and not make normal people feel badly for them, huh? But there is that relief when you pass them and you can just quickly put them out of your mind. And you might think to yourself, thank you, God, I'm not like that.
Yes. Yes, all of those things.
Which proves that you have not come to terms with the fact that you are indeed one of those people who are quite brave and quite determined and deserve to be viewed with respect rather than horror.
What, no pity?
Clint, blindness is a tough break. One of the toughest, as you now know firsthand. And yes, you'll evoke some pity from passersby on the street, but the real pity is if you never go out on the street. If you stay hidden away in your car or your house or your office, and if you are always dependent on other people.
All right, all right, all right. Obviously, if I don't get into this thing with you, I'm going to have to hear about it all night.
Gee, I was just getting to the really good part of my speech.
Ah, yeah, right.
Now, stand up. Get your balance. That's right. This cane was made for a man your height, so should be the proper length.
Got my initials carved in the handle?
Not yet. That's right. Now, I want you to extend your index finger down the side of the cane. Right? Wiggle it around, jiggle it. Make it feel like your own. Great. What this cane is going to become for you
is a crutch.
Is an extension of your index finger. It's going to make a path for you. Feel for you.
Yes, 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 yes. I know. I've seen it. I suppose you want me to find the door.
Well, I think you need a little more instruction before you just...
Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't need it.
Fine. Find the door. Do you remember where it is on your mental clock?
It's at 12 o'clock.
Right.
The killer chair is, I'm standing next to the bed facing the door. It's at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Ha, gotcha. Won't get me this time. Is the door open?
Yes?
Thanks a lot, Miss Gordon. Thanks a lot. You must have seen I was going to hit the door jam.
Clint, you got there before I had a chance to warn you. And besides, you were not using the cane correctly. If you would have been walking down the street, you would have been stabbing people and slapping them. You need to keep it closer to the ground and in front.
And what? And what? Come on. Speak up. Let's hear it. I don't want to fail cane 101. I master this. We'll just get the cup of pencils and I'll hit the street. This time tomorrow, I should be ready for the dog. What's that? I detect a little frustration, Miss Gordon?
Only in your own voice, Mr. Buchanan.